It's a muggy Saturday morning, and I find myself on the Florida East Coast at the North Switch at Saybrook Siding. I'm waiting on a friend to pass me on FEC train 210. This is the closest spot to 95, so it's always easy to get to, in my opinion. I'm here for about 10 minutes when headlights appear and bells start ringing. That's it, the sound we all look forward to, a speeding train. In an era of trip optimizer and underpowered 15,000 foot long freight trains, it's nice to see that at least some railroads still know how to go and put the hammer down. Trains at this speed you don't even see on CSX anymore, it feels like. After we leave Saybrook, we head up to Sunbeam where we knew the train would be yarding. The train would slow to a stop at the yard, so we decided to head on and move to NS's Simpson Yard, where we catch a light engine move. Unlike many trips, the goal today wasn't Jacksonville. It was actually Waycross. We make our way up to the old Atlantic Coastline Depot on the Jesup sub, just east of Rice Yard. Never have a good day in Waycross, really. We're always moving around too much. So now we're going to choose 3 different spots to peck out and camp for the day to see what we can find. As we get there, we get an inbound manifest. I believe this was A750. Eventually, the A750 came to a stop, and we moved to the diamond where Q442 was coming in, and M649 breaks his train down. Over the next hour or two, we'll see a few more trains here, either on the main or working the yard.
That 442 doubling in on 221 side of Southbound Tunnel to Junction. I understand, looking out for the one doubling in on 21, alright.
Here's one of the main reasons I wanted to come to Waycross. CSXT 2422 and SD45-2, it's been classified as an SD40-2, was built for the Clinchfield Railroad, and I didn't know that CSX had any SD45-2s besides the HLS1 and this random one that's up in the Conrail Shared Assets area, so this was definitely cool to see.
G14021, clear signal, Rice Junction, northbound, track 1. CSXT locomotive 3402 out.
Wanting to escape the heat and get in the air conditioning a little bit, we decided to move down the Jesup sub to the Satilla River Bridge just to the east of Waycross. Shortly after getting there, we hear a train coming. I believe this was M401. Being from Orlando, you don't really see too many trains on overhead passes. The only bridge we have over any road or river is the bridge in Winter Park and Lake Monroe Drawbridge. The drawbridge is cool, but you don't really get, I guess, too much of a side view of it. You guys have seen it before, but here, just over a small river with a through truss, this is pretty cool for an Orlando boy. We notice that CSX is starting to fleet their trains in, so we make another stop back at the depot to watch what I think is M493 come in. They change these IDs so often that it's hard to keep track of them. You may be wondering what the M is. Recently, CSX has begun to change all of its symbols to mean new things. Manifests now M's, locals can be R, L, U, D, whatever they really want now. Coal loaded would be C, empty coals would be E, intermodal is I, grain, G, so on and so forth. So it's taking time to learn these new prefixes. While I ponder all of this, M493 creeps up past the depot. With the slow speeds of trains entering yards, I try not to film too much of it because it's just, slow. After 493 clears the switches, the signal lights up again for I-126, who was dogging 493 from the east. We decided to move to the Fizgerald sub to catch I-126. We now had more trains on the airwaves, I-026, I-126, L-729, and an M-202. So I wanted trains with some more speed than 10 miles an hour. We're at a spot north of Jamestown referred to as the roller coaster. The Fitz just out of Waycross is pretty hilly, which reminds me of the Florida Central in Selwood. As a week away after this video, CSX suffered a derailment here. Thank God it wasn't while I was standing here, but a lesson can be learned from that with how close we all stand to the tracks. With a bunch of 40-footers on board and the branding, you can definitely tell this is an export train. I'm more used to the domestic shipments sent into Florida on our intermodals with 53-footers and so on and so forth. We move one crossing up where you really get a better view of the roller coaster. The tracks are up but drop down into a small valley for a bridge, then they rise back up again. Shortly after 126, we get 026 rounding the curve toward Jamestown. As I-026 was doing its thing, L-729, a newly instated train from Winston Yard in Lakeland to Brownstown, Georgia, makes its way to the stop signal. In an effort to keep rock out of Rice Yard due to some unfortunate circumstances, CSX has started running some rock trains again, a practice they'd done away with since they started PSR. It's nice to see again. Kind of reminds me of the 2015 days. Well, Now we see 729's lights are completely shut off, and the signal at Jamestown upgrades to a medium approach medium indication for a southbound train. While this is a surprise, this is the exact reason why I wanted to go to Waycross. You just get train after train. I don't know what could be coming, but we'll find out if we turn the other direction. This train was X647. X trains will stay the same, extras. This train was running as an extra from what I assume to be Chicago, as M647 is a Chicago to Waycross train. The BNSF power in the lead was a nice surprise. We watched the train glide down the hill and notice, 1, it's short, and 2, it's empty. As the 647 clears a turnout, the signal lights up once again, this time displaying a lunar white light. The indication? Restricting. The rule for restricting is to proceed at a speed that will permit stopping within 1/2 the range of vision and no faster than 20 miles per hour. This can be used to enter dark territory, yards, or to go into a block occupied by another train. Once the 647 clears the intermediate in the distance, the signal upgrades to a medium approach. Proceed not exceeding medium speed through turnouts, crossovers, or power-operated switches, and being prepared to stop at the next signal. Now the next signal is an intermediate, which will be red, so the train can either stop or proceed at restricted speed, because all red on an intermediate on CSX is called a restricted proceed, which falls under the restricting rule. With the southbound out of the way, it was time for L729 to blast off. The reason we waited for this train was the rebuilt SD70 Mac on point. CSX has been rebuilding some of these 4500 X-Conrail SD70 Macs, and they've just started releasing some of the 47 and 4800 series. Hopefully they rebuild those. Painted back into CSX's YN3 livery with the website added, this was a nice catch. I'd not shot a CSX Mac leading a train in years, so this would be fitting for the final train of the day. And that would mark the end of the day in this coastline town. It definitely wasn't a disappointment. I hope you all enjoyed this video and hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.